The Boundless Reservoir of Supply, Murdo MacDonald-Bayne. Teach me, Eternal, how thine orders run, and I will follow them step by step. Psalm 119:33, Mofat. It is said that prosperity is a state of mind. It is also said that poverty is a state of mind. We hear it said also that prosperity is a dream come true and that poverty is also a dream come true. But all this is of the mind, it is not real, it is an illusion of the mind itself, caught up in opposites. Prosperity and want, success and failure, etc., are based on the values of the senses, for no one is satisfied with what they have, they always want more. This is not freedom, it is desire, and when we are caught up in desire there can be no freedom. There can only be freedom when desire has perished through understanding the self, with all its desires, hopes of becoming. Freedom alone exists in being and not in becoming. When the state of being is reached, we have found the inner treasure which is imperishable. You may call it what you like, but it is not a mental thing or a thought, it is a state of being where you enter into that boundless reservoir of supply, and things do not matter anymore because all is yours, what is mine is thine. As long as we are seeking the values of the senses, whether it be touch, taste, smell or possessions, having and not having, etc., the outer becomes more important than the inner. Now the mere denial of the outer is not the way to the inner. You may deny the outer and withdraw from the world into a jungle or a cave and there think of God or the inner or whatever name you like to call it. But your thinking of God is still of the senses because your thought is bound up with the senses, what you would like to feel, what you would like to be, what you would like to have, thus you are caught up in your becoming, therefore there can be no being, and only in being is there freedom and completion. When you are merely speculating, caught up in desire, which is not being, you are caught up in confusion because you do not know. Millions of people have tried to solve this puzzling problem of supply and have advanced many ideas, but all lead to destruction and misery through having and not having, and wanting and not wanting, the me and the not me, the mine and the not mine. Some have claimed that wealth is the result of hard work and planning, etc. Some have offered the solution that it is fate or destiny, and others have said it is pure luck. Others say that some are born to inherit wealth. Some have said that life is a gamble and thus all are gamblers. Some say the poor are not aggressive and the rich are. Some say that the rich grasp opportunity while the poor do not. We know that there are some who want to be materially poor and spiritually rich, so they seclude themselves as a means of loosening the bonds of attachment and desire from the temporary things of the world. They look upon things as a hindrance to spiritual growth, yet their desire for spiritual growth is just as much a hindrance as the desire for the material growth. They try to become through the idea that the material is a hindrance. Becoming and the means of becoming is also an illusion. Being is a state now, not in some future time, because the state of being is not of time but of the timeless. Millions of people are trying to combat want because want appears to them as a reality, so they struggle hard to elevate themselves to a station of life which they call a standard of living, and with the standard of living they face fierce competition and many insurmountable difficulties, always questioning the justice of their unfortunate plight. Their lives are a seesaw of gain and loss which leads to confusion and ultimate misery. They struggle for a result but the result does not come. They want security so they seek an end. In reality there is no end, therefore their lives are a torture and many say it is not worthwhile. Man's external plight is a concrete expression or reflection of his internal state of mind. We see then that wealth of itself is not the permanent possession of any individual because it is constantly shifting and changing hands. Those who understand realize that wealth is not a sensate thing but a state of being in the boundless reservoir of supply and have the right to the temporary possession of wealth. There is no end to the boundless reservoir of supply, because there is no end to being. Therefore they do not seek end nor do they seek a continuity, for this is also an illusion that arises when we want to become. Those who understand enjoy ownership during the span of a lifetime on earth which is of a brief duration. They know that at the fateful moment of their earthly exit their material riches become the possessions of others while the boundless reservoir remains, unchanging and eternal. Therefore if you would be rich with contentment, seek the boundless reservoir of supply that is within the consciousness of God and which is also within the consciousness of man himself. From this source we attract wisdom and love, which is the greatest wealth man can have, and with it comes all material things as well. In the Bible we read where Solomon asked only for wisdom, and because he did not ask for wealth for himself, he was granted all this as well. This is the unfailing colossal power of our magnetic attraction, and not in wanting and not wanting, having and not having, which cause conflict and confusion in the mind. The human mind is the manifestation of the divine mind and is the bridge to the boundless reservoir of supply, God and man being one. But this can only be realized in the state of being and not in a state of becoming. Through this link issue the tremendous electromagnetic waves in the form of intelligent thought. It is a powerful magnet that attracts from the boundless reservoir of supply all the good things that God has prepared for those who love Him. We love God through our neighbor, by loving our neighbor as ourselves. With this understanding we will ask and we will receive, we will seek and we shall find, we will knock and it will be opened unto us, the great storehouse of God, who has already prepared all the good things for those who love their neighbor as themselves, and there is no limit put to what you can take. Impatience must be guarded against. Impatience shows a lack of faith and understanding. Patience and understanding are the basic factors of victory. Transmute the energy of desire into that state of being, then there will be an end to the many desires which overpower the mind with duality. The wrestling with duality, having and not having, etc., will only produce failure and the opposite result. Do not dissipate your energies with sensate values, but seek that state of being which alone brings true, happy, and permanent results. When you have found the secret of opening up to the boundless storeroom of supply, all the good things that God has prepared for you will pour forth in abundance. Wisdom and love are the great fortunes that man can inherit, and with this will come all else, for they are the keys to all things above and below. Your problems are solved and the enemies of ignorance are entirely vanquished. Thought, through its own conditioned state, can never find that which is complete. If your thought is conditioned with opposites, how can you find that which has no opposites? When you see the false drops away. Then the mind is in a state of high receptivity, and there is a great peace in which there is no fear. When there is no fear there is love. When you love you are not calculating, your whole heart, your whole being is open. But when you merely think about love or about a person whom you love, your heart is empty. When there is love then there is no fear of want, no fear of death. Fear of want is in becoming, not in being. In the state of being, love has no claim, has no wants, and that is the beauty of love. Love does not claim, does not demand, and when there is love there is no want, no death, because there is no fear. Love is being moment to moment. Therefore love is its own eternity. This is why the prophet said, "The mind has not conceived the many good things that God has prepared for those that love." Thus the great storehouse, the boundless reservoir of supply, is open to those who love. Then love thy neighbor as thyself, and God who loves all will fill your cup overflowing, for all he has is thine also. I and the Father are one. Return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. For thou hast delivered my soul from death, mine eyes from tears, and my feet from falling. I will walk before the Lord in the land of the living. Old version. Benediction. O eternal beloved, thy storeroom is ever open to me, and now I care not what my possessions may be, for all belong to thee. Thou hast granted me the use of all that is thine, for thou hast told me that all was also mine. My state of being is one with thee, and now the veil of ignorance has vanished that separated thee from me, O eternal beloved. My peace and my love remain with you. Yours very sincerely, Murdo MacDonald-Bayne.